Welcome back to the Henster Kitchen. I am Georgia. I am the Happy Henster. On today's menu, we're having good old-fashioned meatloaf, but we're making it in the crock pot. Stick around. I'll show you how. It all starts with preparation, and it's this simple. Some wadded up aluminum foil. I put it in the base of my pot so that as our meatloaf cooks, the grease will drain to the bottom and not end up with a nasty, greasy meatloaf. Then I've taken aluminum foil that I've folded, and I'm going to put this in like an X, and then we'll put the meatloaf on top of this. When it's time to take it out, when it's finished cooking, we just lift up the aluminum foil strips and magic, our meatloaf is out. Now let's make our meatloaf. I am starting with 1 pound of ground beef. This is gonna feed 2, possibly 3. If you're needing to feed more, just double the recipe or triple it, whatever you need to do. So we've got 1 pound of ground beef. To this, we are gonna add a 1/2 cup of panko breadcrumbs. We're gonna add 1 tablespoon of dried parsley, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, a 1/2 teaspoon of thyme, and a 1/2 teaspoon of oregano. Get in there, garlic. 1/2 of a green bell pepper, and 1/2 of an onion. 1/4 cup of milk, a good tablespoon or 2 of ketchup, and of course, it can't be me cooking if we don't use some fresh ground black pepper. Now, the worst part of making meatloaf, you have to get your hands in it to mix it. There's just really no other way to incorporate it without overworking your meat. So we're just gonna get in here and squish around a little bit until everything is combined, and then we're gonna form our loaf. So we're just gently kind of rolling it together. You're not wanting to pack this. Keep your meat nice and loose. And make a nice, even loaf. And we're going right into our crock pot. I'm gonna get the rest of the goodies out of the bottom of the bowl. And just kind of put them on top there. We don't want to lose the flavor. Now we're ready to make our glaze. I've got 2 tablespoons of brown sugar in here, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I have a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, about a 1/4 teaspoon of dried onion flakes. You could also use onion powder. And then about a 1/4 teaspoon of cracked black pepper. I'm gonna put in roughly 1.5 teaspoons of vinegar. And about 3/4 cup of ketchup. This is the best glaze. Give that a good little mix. Taste for your acidity. That's good. Let's pull our meatloaf back over here. And we're just gonna drizzle this right on top. This is a 1 pound meatloaf. So I'm gonna put it in my crock pot on low for 5 to 6 hours, or you can do it on high for 3 to 4. If you're gonna increase this recipe, make sure that you adjust your crock pot cooking time accordingly. I've got my crock pot set on low. I'm gonna set in the meatloaf. Cover it, and I'll be back to check on it in about 5 hours. It's been 5 hours, and it looks like we are ready to take our meatloaf out. Up and over. And how ridiculously easy was that? Here is our beautiful meatloaf, and here is all the fat that we didn't want in it. Thank you for hanging out in the kitchen with me today. I hope this recipe will become one of your family's favorite as well. If you've enjoyed the video, please like and share below. Leave me a comment. I would really appreciate it, and I love your all's feedback. Thanks so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.